And welcome, I'm Kayla and I'll be guiding you today through a class where we will be releasing and focusing on the upper back. So when I think of the upper back, or I should really say the mid back, is the parts of the back where our ribs connect to our spine. This part of the back can get really sticky and can tend to tense up quite a bit. There's many different reasons for this. For me personally, it's a stress response. So when we are in our fight or flight response, which is our stress response a large part of the time, what happens is our body begins to curl forward. It's like a protective and survival mechanism of the body and the nervous system. You know, we want to protect our organs from danger. So when we are constantly in this activated response, we're curling, and what can happen is we begin to get quite tight in this upper back region. The other mechanism in which this happens is that our breath in this fight or flight response tends to be up into the shoulders and up into this area of the body. So we're constantly breathing, you know, in that part of the body, and we're not breathing down into the rib cage. And for our rib cage to stay mobile and for this upper back to stay nice and mobile and pain-free, it needs to move, it needs to expand. So our focus then is, when we are targeting that mid back, is to focus on our breath, coming out of the flight and fight response and into the parasympathetic rest and digest response of the nervous system. But we will also be using some techniques within movement to help release through those muscles and the fascia to bring a bit more mobility into that mid back. So when you're ready, join me on your mat, and you will need a couple of props today. So a block, definitely, or a bolster pillow or anything. We're going to be using it on the mid back there, so anything that might work like that, or a folded up blanket. And you also will need a rolled up blanket. So I tend to use a flannelette sheet just because it seems to maintain its integrity. It's quite firm and will help to sort of get into the area that we're getting in today. So grab your props and meet me on your mat. So we will begin today lying down. So moving anything that you're sitting on out the way, moving your block out to the side but within reach, and placing your rolled up blanket in the middle of your mat. So what we're going to do is lay our spine down from the tailbone through to the neck, and at the top we're going to roll the top of the blanket up to create a little pillow there to rest the head on. So we're going to be here for a couple of minutes, so making sure that you get your blanket situated in the right place, and then when you're ready, coming down so that that rolled up blanket is all the way up from your tailbone, up your spine, and that you're using that little pillow to rest your head on. So you can place your legs in any way that feels good for you here, perhaps lengthened out, or with your feet connected and your knees wide in Supta Baddha Konasana. Arms are rested down by your sides. And we'll begin here by gently dropping into the body. Just whatever has happened in your day or whatever has come before, can you begin to allow that to fall away? Begin to soften here into the present moment, into your body, into your breath. And finding a natural flow of breath. And with every exhale, can you allow your body to soften around the rolled blanket? like it's almost sinking in towards your body. And softening all the muscles of your face, unclenching your jaw. And being free here within your body, free to breathe, free to be safe and supported. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And allow your mouth to gently open, just releasing any further tension that you might be holding in the jaw. Softening the tongue down into the bottom jaw. The invitation next is to place your hands onto your rib cage. So feeling around for where that is in your body and resting your hands there. So from here we'll gently press into the rib cage, not enough to constrict any breathing, but just enough to feel a gentle sense of pressure. Now bring your awareness to this movement of the rib cage, feeling the pressure and the ribs expand against your hands as you breathe in. And as you exhale, feel the rib cage pull away from the hands and that pressure soften. Breathing out completely. And breathing in, expanding in a 360-degree expansion through the rib cage, forward, sideways, backwards, and fully and completely breathing out. You're taking 5 more breaths here in your own time, seeing if you can lengthen out the exhale. Breathing in naturally, exhaling completely. Two more cycles of breath. Holding your awareness within your body and within this thoracic cavity, rib cage, the diaphragm, the lungs. Noticing all these parts moving in harmony, working together to help you to breathe and to give you life, to give you prana. Beautiful. Releasing your hands and just noticing how you feel, noticing your body, your sensations, your mind. Just taking it all in. And when you're ready, we'll come off the blanket over to the side and just make your way up from here, placing your hand on the ground and shifting yourself up. And we'll move the blanket away, so we don't need that blanket anymore unless you'd like to keep it for Shavasana. Otherwise, grab your block from here and place it on its flat edge, so on its shortest level. And then we're going to move into our little spinal crunch or thoracic crunch here. So bringing that mid back, all those parts of the spine where the ribs connect to the vertebrae, we're going to place that on that big flat part of the block. Then interlace your fingers, place them behind your head, and draw your elbows towards your face so that you're hugging your ears with your arms. So we'll stay like this as we crunch, keeping your feet flat down on the earth and your knees pointing up to the ceiling. With your inhale, you'll begin to tip your head back as your heart lifts towards the sky, feeling that beautiful expansion, coming only to a place that feels good in your body. And then with your exhale, using your core to crunch back up, drawing the ribs towards each other, cinching in at the waist and drawing chin to chest. Inhale as you release, feel a sense of opening through the hips as well. As you tip your head back, elbows point backwards as far as feels good for you. And then exhale as you draw everything into the midline. We'll do this 3 more times, moving with your breath, keeping it slow and steady. And just noticing all the sensations within that upper back along your journey. With this last one, we're going to land into that spinal extension. And if it feels okay for you, you can open the elbows out like some butterfly wings and let your head hang down towards the earth, but supported by your hands. If this is too much and you're in a lot of pain here, you can either place a pillow or your blanket underneath your hands, or simply coming out of the pose and to lie on your back. But if you're here with me, we'll just stay for a couple more breaths, feeling that body sort of sink into the block, almost soften around the edges. It's reducing that resistance. And taking a final breath in. And as you exhale, curling the elbows back towards your face, lifting up, and then just place your elbows on the earth as you push yourself up to seated. Let's just take a moment here to sit on the mat, legs crossed. If you need to pop yourself onto a block, that's fine. Place your hands wherever feels comfortable on your legs. Close your eyes. And just take a few breaths into the rib cage, deep down into the lungs and the diaphragm. Feeling your whole thoracic cavity floating away from your hips, elongating through your spine. And with your exhale, notice the rib cage float back down towards your hips, everything softens. Twice more. And the shoulders fall away from the ears. We'll begin to open your eyes. And we'll come into a seated twist. So with your inhale, rise your arms up, reach for the sky. And with your exhale, twist over to your left, place your left hand on, so your right hand on your left knee and your left hand behind you for support. Lifting tall through the spine, can you gaze over that left shoulder? Using your core muscles here to guide you into the twist rather than crowbarring yourself in with your arms. Just breathing here in your twist, noticing any sensations, any activations, any fire, any softness. Keep your right hand glued to your left knee. Start to lift your left arm up and over to your right knee. Rotate your chest down and lean towards that right knee. And then we'll just begin to undulate in and out of that position. So pulling back about 20% and then going all in again until you feel that beautiful expansion through the left rib cage or left side of the body. Keeping your breath soft and steady. With your next lean down, place your fingers behind your left ear. And with your inhale, begin to twist that elbow up towards the sky. Chest comes towards the roof. Good. And exhale as you twist the chest back down towards your knee. Think of guiding your shoulder towards your knee rather than your elbow towards your knee. As you inhale, open back up, find that freedom in the rib cage, and exhale as you rotate back down. And tuning into those sensations that become vibrant with this movement. Last one, exhale completely. And then slowly make your way back up, release the grip of the knee, and just take a little moment here to sway side to side, just rinsing that out. Gently swaying back to center, coming to stillness. And as we inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist over to your right, left hand grips onto left knee. Right hand rests behind you, using that arm as a kickstand to lift up through your spine and then twist from this lifted place, looking over your right shoulder. Breathe, use your core to help you stay in the twist rather than your arms. What does this feel like in your body? Where can you feel the fire, that activation? Perhaps some heat building. Keep your left hand glued to your right knee. Start to lift the right arm up. Breathe in as you rise. And then exhale as you lean towards that left knee, bringing that shoulder towards the left knee. And then just start to undulate in and out of the pose. Pulling back 20%, leaning back in, maybe a further 0.5%, just taking it in small micro sort of movements rather than large ones. Inviting that softness into your practice. The next time you lean your chest down, place your right fingers behind your right ear, and with your inhale start to rotate your chest back up to the sky. Reach your elbow up, look up to that right elbow if you can, and then exhale as you twist back down. We're isolating this movement to that upper back. So if any other parts of your body are coming along, can you fix them in place and really just start to move from this thoracic spine. Keep that breath expansive, but also soft. Last one, leaning down and then reaching up and coming back to center. Take your little sway side to side, noticing how this part of your body feels, this mid to upper back. Good. And when you're ready, we'll make our way onto all fours. So knees under the hips, wrist under the shoulders, fingers nice and wide, gripping into the mat. Taking a simple few rounds of cat-cow here. So as you breathe in, think of gravity pulling your belly down towards the earth and your chest lifting up, gaze might lift too. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. With your exhale, press your hands into the ground, and if someone's got a little puppet string on that upper to mid back, pulling that part of your body up towards the ceiling, the head falls floppy and the tailbone tucks under. Inhale, drop the belly down with gravity, feel everything soften. Activation through the upper back, through the shoulder blades as you lift your chest forward. And exhale as you round, press and lift. That last round, inhale, soften the belly, tilt the tailbone up. Exhale, extend into your cat. And make your way back to center. We're going to take a little look over the right shoulder here. Start to wag your tailbone over to the right so you form the C curve within the spine. Good. Extending through the left side body, crunching through the right. We'll just move from side to side, so inhale through center. Exhale over to the other side. Look over left, wag the tail to the left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Just following the journey of your breath rather than trying to keep up with that breath. Good. Now we'll take this movement and turn it into a barrel roll. So staying here on your left side, you'll begin to lift your upper back up towards the sky into that cat pose. Come through center, through to the right into your C curve, and then drop the belly as you come back through center into your cow, over to the other side, C curve, through your cat, C curve to the right, cow, belly drops through center. So taking one more round like this, just moving with whatever pace of breath feels natural. Just articulating through that spine. And then when you come over to the right next into your little C curve, we'll start to go the opposite way. So from here, coming into your cat, reaching through the shoulder blades, separating those, and then over to the left C curve. Come through cow as you come to center, to your C curve, to the right, and then rounding through your cat. One more round in your own time. Beautiful work. All right, just come to center, give yourself a little wiggle, notice how that feels in your body. Tuning in back to your breath. And then begin to keep your hips in place and walk your hands forward. So finding a puppy pose, let your chest melt down towards the earth, soften through your arms, and feel your heart expanding here. Sit bones tilting up towards the ceiling. Forehead soft on the ground, or you might like to place it on a block. Yeah, take a breath here and a breath out. And pressing into the hands, we'll begin to lift the chest away from the floor. Looking forward, start to slowly lay your thighs down on the earth. Tummy comes next, then the chest, then the elbows, and lay your forehead down. So we're coming into a little rolling action within the spine. As you inhale, you'll lift the chest, press into the elbows, reach your hips back, finding that puppy pose again. Let the heart melt forward. Beautiful. Take a breath in. As you exhale, press through the hands, lift the belly button away from the ground. Pull yourself forward, lay the thighs down slowly, like you're laying a chain of pearls down on the earth. Elbows come down, and forehead last. Settling down for a breath. And then with your next inhale, lift the chest, press through the elbows, reach the hips back, finding that puppy pose, pressing through the hands, lengthening through the arms. Let's do that one last time. Take a breath in to set yourself up, and exhale as you round, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly towards the spine, and then ripple yourself down. Landing with your forehead down on the earth. Beautiful work. All right, from here, just send your arms down by your sides. Bring one cheek down to the earth. Allow your shoulders to fall away from your ears. And think of your breath being directed into your back body or back ribs, feeling that expansion up towards the sky. And the front ribs gently pressing on the earth, feeling that feedback of the ground. And everything drawing back into the midline or the heart space as you breathe out. And softening through toes, softening through fingers, letting go through the hips. How heavy can you allow your hips to be, supported by the earth beneath you? From this place, we'll make our way onto our back. So just spinning yourself around and drawing your knees into your chest, taking a little rock and roll side to side. Good. Placing your arms either side of you, moving any props out the way. You can come into cactus arms or spreading the arms into a capital T. So I'll just begin to rock those knees side to side, feeling the lower back and the pelvis, that pressure pressing down into the earth. And when you're ready, you can drop the knees all the way over to the left, finding a easy supine twist. Maybe your gaze comes over to the right. you can always place your hands on that right hand onto your right rib cage and form that connection of breath with proprioception. Proprioception is your body's and your brain's ability to notice where your body is in space. And developing proprioception is one of the key ways to really start to have an embodied practice and even an embodied life. Just being more aware of what's happening within your body, where it is, what does the breath feel like. And then taking your time to come over to the other side, just allowing the knees to drag there with grace as much as possible. Settling the knees down. Just knowing it's okay to use any props you need to in these poses. So if a block between the knees feels more supportive, you can always do that, or a bolster underneath one of the knees. And then start to let your gaze drift off to the left. And again, if it feels good, just placing that left hand on the left rib cage, feeling the breath move in and out of that left lung. Keeping the face soft, keeping the jaw soft, keeping the breath subtle. And from here, take your time to come out of the pose, lengthen the legs down onto the mat, taking any other movement that might feel good in your body to round off your practice, to complete it in your way. What do you need in this moment? There's no good or bad. For me, I might just take a little roll of the ankles and the wrists, just rinsing out through those joints. Even though we didn't really work them today, it's nice just to integrate the whole body into the practice. Creating that holistic framework for well-being. Everything is connected. And take your time to lay your hands down wherever feels good, maybe on the belly or the ribs. Allow your feet to drift away from each other. The legs and the knees to fall apart. Just noticing all the parts of your body connected with the earth. And can you allow your body to surrender into gravity? The earth beneath you will always support you. It will always hold you. So can you start to soften into your existence and be supported? And I encourage you to stay in Shavasana, your resting pose, for as long as you feel like your body calls for. If you're doing this before bed, you can just jump straight into bed and drift off into a beautiful sleep, or you might need to get going to finish off the rest of your day. So if that is you, then just beginning to drop back into your body and taking some deep and full breaths into the lungs. Inviting some gentle movement in, a flicker of the toes, a wriggle of the fingers, maybe even a sway of the head side to side. Drawing the knees into the chest and just taking a little hug of gratitude, hugging in, maybe a little sway side to side. Coming over onto your side, taking a pause there, and when you're ready, pressing yourself up to seated. There's no rush. Can you keep your eyes closed or holding a soft gaze, keeping this inwards quality of Shavasana, holding it within your heart space and within every cell of your body. Taking a moment to briefly notice how you feel within your body. Noticing the undercurrent of your nervous system. Noticing the pace and flow of your breath. And tuning into the quality of your thoughts. And placing your hands wherever feels honorable to you in your body. And allowing a sense of gratitude to sort of wash over you. Gratitude for yourself for showing up on your mat, carving this space out of your day. Sometimes showing up is the hardest part. So well done. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again soon. Take care.